I was reviewing Q3 projections when my phone buzzed. A text from Richard, my stepfather. I almost ignored it. His messages were usually complaints about money or thinly veiled demands for family support, but this one made my blood freeze. Liquidate the company and distribute assets to family. You have 48 hours, or your baby's daycare gets a visit. Below the text were 3 photos. Little Scholars Daycare on Maple Street, the front entrance, the playground where 6-month-old Sophie spent her mornings. A close-up of the security keypad by the door. My hands shook, not from fear, from rage. I took screenshots, then I opened the family group chat. Richard had started 6 months ago, right after he married my mother. 23 members, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. The messages were already flowing. Richard gave her the ultimatum. She'll cave. Mom, do what you need to do, sweetheart. She's been selfish long enough. My brother Kevin, smart move. Hit her where it hurts. Aunt Patricia, about time someone got tough with her. Cousin Melissa, she owes this family. Dad would have wanted us all taken care of. I screenshotted everything, every message, every endorsement of threatening my infant daughter. Then I forwarded all of it, the threat, the photos, the group chat screenshots to one email address, legal@nexusmed.com. Subject line: Urgent criminal threat against CEO and dependent child. I pressed send at 2:47 p.m. At 2:51 p.m., my phone rang. Catherine Morrison, our general counsel. I just saw your email, she said, her voice tight. Are you safe? Is Sophie safe? We're fine. I'm at the office. Sophie's at daycare with normal security. Not anymore. I'm dispatching our security team to that location immediately. 2 former Secret Service agents. They'll be there in 15 minutes. I heard typing. I'm also briefing board leadership right now. This is a credible threat against our CEO and her child. The board needs to know. Catherine, it's just family drama. It's criminal extortion and child endangerment. She cut me off. You're the CEO of a publicly traded company with 800 employees. We take threats against executives seriously. Stand by. She hung up. I sat at my desk, staring at my phone. The family group chat was still going. Uncle Tom, when she liquidates, what's our cut? Richard equal distribution. 12 million divided by family members. Sister Lauren, finally, she's been hoarding Dad's legacy. They had it all planned. They actually believed threatening Sophie would work. My father had started Nexus Med as a small medical supply distributor. When I joined after college, we had 6 employees and $800,000 in annual revenue. Over 12 years, I'd grown it into a medical device manufacturer with contracts across 43 hospital networks. Last year's revenue, $127 million. We'd gone public 18 months ago. Current market cap, $340 million. And they thought I'd liquidate it, because Richard sent threatening texts. My office door opened. Catherine walked in with 2 others, James Holland, our chief security officer, and Barbara Winters, board chair. Show us everything, Barbara said. I pulled up the texts on my computer monitor, the photos of Sophie's daycare, the group chat endorsing the threats. James was already on his phone. Maple Street location secured. 2 agents on site. Daycare director has been briefed. No one enters or exits without verification. Barbara's face had gone pale. He threatened a 6-month-old baby to force a business liquidation, and 22 family members endorsed it in writing. Catherine added, scrolling through the group chat screenshots. This isn't one person making a stupid threat. This is a conspiracy. We need to convene the full board, Barbara said. Emergency session, now. Within 30 minutes, I was sitting in our main conference room. The video screen showed 14 faces, board members joining from New York, Boston, Chicago, San Francisco. Barbara sat at the head of the table in person. 15 board members total, all of them looking at the evidence displayed on the screen. Catherine presented first. At 2:47 p.m. today, our CEO received this text message from her stepfather, Richard Castellano. She clicked through the images. As you can see, he's threatening her infant daughter's daycare, unless she liquidates Nexus Med and distributes assets to family members. Board member David Park leaned forward on his video feed. He's demanding she destroy a $340 million public company. Correct. And as you'll see in these group chat messages, he's coordinated this threat with 22 family members, who are endorsing the action and discussing their expected payouts. The chat messages scrolled across the screen. I watched the board members' faces darken. "This is extortion," said board member Linda Okafor, a former federal prosecutor, "and child endangerment, possibly stalking, given the surveillance photos." James spoke next. "Security assessment. The threat is credible. The subject has conducted physical surveillance of the daycare location. He has detailed photos showing entry points and security measures. He's demonstrated capability and intent." "What's our response protocol?" Barbara asked. Catherine had a document ready. "Immediate actions already taken. Security detail deployed to protect the child. Next steps recommended. File criminal complaints with the county prosecutor's office. Obtain emergency restraining orders against all 23 subjects. Engage private security for CEO and family for minimum 60 days, and full cooperation with law enforcement." "Cost estimate?" asked board member Michael Torres. "Security detail, approximately $45,000 monthly. Legal fees for restraining orders and criminal consultation, $30,000. Total immediate outlay, $75,000. "That's nothing," Barbara said flatly. "Our CEO and her child were threatened. We spend that protecting the company." Linda's voice came through the speakers. "I want to be clear on the legal exposure here. If something happens to that child or to our CEO, and we didn't take every reasonable precaution, the company faces massive liability. Beyond that, we have a fiduciary duty to protect company leadership from threats. This is textbook corporate governance." "Agreed," said another board member. "We need to hit this hard and fast." Barbara looked at me. "How are you holding up?" "I'm angry," I said honestly, "but I'm fine. Sophie's safe. That's what matters." "We're going to keep her safe," Barbara said, "and we're going to make sure these people face consequences." The vote was unanimous. Full security deployment, criminal complaints filed, corporate resources committed. The meeting ended at 4:23 p.m. By 5 p.m., I was at Little Scholars Daycare. 2 men in suits stood near the entrance. James' security team. They nodded as I approached. Inside, the director, Mrs. Palmer, was waiting. "Miss Andrews, I want you to know, we've upgraded our protocols. No one picks up Sophie except you, or people on your pre-approved list, verified with photo ID. Our exterior cameras are now monitored by your company's security team in real time." "Thank you," I said. "I'm sorry this is happening. Your daughter's safety is our priority," she said firmly. "Always has been." I picked up Sophie from her crib. She smiled at me, completely unaware that her grandmother's husband had threatened her that morning. I held her close, breathing in that baby smell. My phone buzzed. The family group chat. "Richard, why aren't you responding? Time's running out." "Mom's sweetheart, just do what's right. Family comes first." "Kevin, don't be stupid about this." I typed one message. "Everything you've sent has been forwarded to law enforcement and our corporate legal team. Do not contact me again." Then I muted the chat. At 6:30 p.m., Catherine called. "County prosecutor's office has reviewed the evidence. They're filing charges tomorrow morning. Terroristic threatening, stalking, attempted extortion. Warrants will be issued for Richard's arrest." "What about the others?" "The ones in the group chat. Prosecutor is reviewing for conspiracy charges. 22 people endorsed a threat against an infant in writing. That's evidence of agreement to commit a crime." I exhaled slowly. "Good. There's more. We've also filed emergency restraining orders. None of them can come within 500 feet of you, Sophie, your home, or the daycare. Violation means immediate arrest." That night, I sat in Sophie's nursery, watching her sleep. The security detail was parked outside my house. 2 agents in an unmarked car, monitoring all approaches. My phone buzzed with texts from family members I hadn't heard from in years. "You're overreacting. He was just trying to negotiate. You're really going to put Richard in jail over this." I blocked every number. The next morning, I was back at the office when Catherine walked in with James. "Richard was arrested at 6 a.m., she said. "Bail hearing is this afternoon. Prosecutor is arguing he's a flight risk and a danger to the child." "Will he get bail?" "Unlikely. Judge Crawford is hearing the case. She has grandchildren. She doesn't take kindly to infant threats." James pulled out his tablet. "We've also identified something interesting. Richard's been surveilling the daycare for at least 3 weeks. We pulled traffic camera footage from the area. His car appears on Maple Street 14 times in the past month, always during Sophie's drop-off or pickup times. 14 times. My stomach turned. He was building a pattern analysis, learning the routine. This wasn't a spontaneous threat, it was planned. That made it worse somehow. The premeditation, the calculation. Barbara called an update meeting that afternoon. More board members joined in person this time. They were flying in for our scheduled quarterly meeting, but several arrived early. Status update, Barbara began. Richard Castellano is in custody, bail denied. County prosecutor has indicated they're pursuing the strongest possible charges. We've also been contacted by the FBI. FBI? I asked. Linda nodded on the video screen. Interstate extortion. Richard sent threats via text message. That crossed state lines. Technically, FBI can assert jurisdiction if they want. And given the target is the CEO of a public company, they're interested. How's the company responding publicly? Asked another board member. We haven't issued any statements, Catherine said. This is being treated as a personal threat against an executive, not a company matter. We're cooperating fully with law enforcement but maintaining operational security. Good, Barbara said. The last thing we need is market speculation about CEO safety. The meeting continued. Business updates, financial projections, Q4 strategies. Life moved forward, even as my family imploded behind me. That evening my mother called. I almost didn't answer. How could you? She said immediately. Richard is in jail. They're saying he might face 5 years. He threatened Sophie. He was just trying to get your attention. You've been ignoring the family for years. He photographed my baby's daycare, and said it would get a visits unless I destroyed my company. That's not what he meant. That's exactly what he meant, Mom, and you endorsed it, in writing. In a group chat with 22 other people. Silence. The prosecutor has all those messages, I continued. Every one of you who said smart move, or do what you need to do, might face conspiracy charges. You wouldn't. I didn't do anything. You all did it to yourselves. You put it in writing. We're family. You stopped being family when you threatened my daughter. I hung up. 3 weeks later Richard pleaded guilty to terroristic threatening and stalking. The prosecutor dropped the extortion charge in exchange for the plea. He was sentenced to 3 years. 4 family members, including my mother, were charged with conspiracy to commit extortion. They took plea deals, probation, fines, mandatory restraining orders. The rest of the family scattered. Some tried to apologize. Most just disappeared from my life entirely. Sophie turned 7 months old. She started crawling. She laughed at everything. She had no idea her grandmother's husband had tried to use her as leverage, and she never would. The security detail stayed for 3 months, then scaled back to periodic checks. James's team updated all our home and daycare security systems, company expense, board approved. Nexus Med stock continued climbing. We signed 2 new hospital contracts. Revenue projections exceeded expectations. At the next board meeting, Barbara pulled me aside. How are you doing? Really, better, I said. Sophie's safe. The business is strong. That's what matters. Your family isn't my family anymore. They made their choice. She nodded. The board wants you to know something. What you did forwarding that evidence immediately, protecting the company's interests, while protecting your child. That was exactly right. You didn't let emotion cloud your judgment. You acted like a CEO should. I acted like a mother should. I corrected. The CEO part was secondary, maybe. But not every CEO would have kept that clear-headed. We're glad you're leading this company. That night I rocked Sophie to sleep in her nursery. No security detail outside, no threats hanging over us. Just a mother and her baby, safe and sound. My phone sat silent on the dresser. No family group chat, no demands, no threats, just peace. Richard's smart negotiation had gotten him 3 years in prison, and a permanent criminal record. Mom's endorsement had gotten her a conspiracy conviction, and a restraining order keeping her from her granddaughter. And I still ran Nexus Med, still grew the business, still protected what my father built, and what I'd expanded. They'd wanted me to liquidate everything and hand them millions. Instead they'd lost everything, including the chance to watch Sophie grow up. Some negotiations, I thought, don't go the way you plan. The first time I knew something was wrong was when Dr. Patel's office called on Friday afternoon. "Mrs. Morrison, we need to clarify something about Emma's surgery on Tuesday," the scheduler said. "We received a cancellation call this morning from your insurance holder." My stomach dropped. I didn't cancel anything. The call came from a Jennifer Morrison. She said the family needed to postpone indefinitely due to financial constraints. "Jennifer, my father's wife of 8 months. That's my stepmother," I said carefully. "She has no authority over my daughter's medical care. The surgery is still happening." There was a pause. "I'll need to speak with the department head. This is unusual." I sat in my car outside Emma's school, hands shaking. Emma was 6 years old. She'd been born with a congenital heart defect that we'd been monitoring since birth. The surgery wasn't life-threatening emergency level, but Dr. Patel had been clear. The repair needed to happen before she turned 7, before the defect worsened. We'd scheduled it for Tuesday. Emma had been preparing for weeks, talking to the child life specialist, touring the hospital, picking out which stuffed animal would come to surgery with her. I called Jennifer. She answered on the 4th ring. "Oh, that," she said, her voice light. "I was going to talk to you about it. Your father and I have the Mediterranean cruise leaving Monday. We paid a $4,000 deposit, and it's completely non-refundable." "What does your cruise have to do with Emma's surgery?" "Well, we're on your father's insurance, and so are you and Emma. If something goes wrong during the surgery, we need to be available. We can't be out of the country during a medical emergency." I counted to 5. "Jennifer, you're not Emma's guardian. You have no medical decision-making authority. I'm your father's wife. I'm family. And honestly, this surgery has been scheduled for months. You knew about our cruise. We booked it in March. Emma's surgery was scheduled in January. The deposit is non-refundable. Sweetie, we can reschedule the surgery for July. It's not like it's an emergency." I hung up. That evening, I called the hospital back. The department head, Dr. Reeves, explained the situation. "Your stepmother called our scheduling line. She had your father's insurance information, his date of birth, policy number. Our staff verified the insurance details and processed the cancellation. I apologize. This shouldn't have happened without confirmation from the patient's legal guardian. Can we reinstate Tuesday's slot? The OR time has already been filled. The next available slot is in 6 weeks." 6 weeks. Emma would turn 7 in 5 weeks. I called my father. He didn't answer. I left a voicemail. He texted back an hour later. Jennifer explained the situation. "We'll talk when I get back from the cruise. Stop being dramatic." That night, Emma asked me why we weren't doing her heart countdown anymore. We'd been marking off days on a special calendar, making the surgery feel like an adventure instead of something scary. "There's a small delay, baby," I said, "but we'll fix it." She nodded, trusting. 6 years old. I couldn't sleep. At midnight, I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop and started researching medical ethics, patient advocacy, insurance fraud, hospital liability. At 1:30 a.m. I found it. The Patient Rights Statute. A non-guardian making medical decisions by misrepresenting their authority was a violation of healthcare ethics standards. If the hospital had processed the cancellation without proper verification, they'd violated their own protocols. I opened my phone's recording app. I'd started recording family conversations with Jennifer 3 months ago, after she'd made several comments about Emma being dramatic about her health conditions. I'd wanted documentation in case I ever needed it for custody issues with my father. I scrolled through the files. There Friday afternoon. I'd been in my car when Jennifer called. The recording had captured everything. "The deposit is non-refundable, sweetie. We can reschedule the surgery for July. It's not like it's an emergency." Her voice was clear, unconcerned. Discussing cruise deposits while canceling a child's cardiac surgery. I opened my laptop and navigated to the hospital's website. I found the Medical Ethics Committee contact page. 9 members listed with email addresses. I drafted the email at 2:47 a.m. Subject: Formal Ethics Complaint. Unauthorized surgery cancellation by non-guardian. To Hospital Medical Ethics Committee members, I attached the audio file. I attached Emma's medical records, showing me as sole legal guardian. I attached the hospital's own patient rights documentation. I included a timeline of events, Jennifer's exact words, and Dr. Reeves' confirmation that proper verification hadn't occurred. I included one more thing, a screenshot of Jennifer's Facebook post from Thursday night. She'd posted a photo of cruise brochures with the caption, "Finally getting our dream vacation. Nothing will stop us from this Mediterranean adventure." Posted at 9:47 p.m. Thursday. She'd called the hospital at 10:15 a.m. Friday. She'd planned this. I hit send at 3:04 a.m. I sent copies to the hospital's patient advocacy office and their risk management department. Then I went to bed. My phone rang at 7:52 a.m. Unknown number. This is Margaret Chen, chair of the hospital ethics committee. I received your complaint. Is this a safe time to talk? Yes. Miss Morrison, I've listened to your recording. I've spoken with 2 other committee members already this morning. We're treating this as a priority issue. Can you be available for a call at 9 a.m. with our full committee and hospital administration? I'll be there. At 9 a.m., I joined a conference call with 11 people, the 9 ethics committee members, the hospital's legal counsel, and the chief of pediatric surgery. They asked me to walk through everything. I did. When I finished, there was silence. The legal counsel spoke first. Miss Morrison, I want to be very clear about what happened here. Your stepmother committed healthcare fraud by misrepresenting her authority. Our scheduling staff failed to verify guardianship before processing a cancellation for a minor. Both issues are serious. What happens now? We're opening an immediate investigation. We're also reinstating Emma's surgery for Tuesday. We'll find the OR time. Dr. Patel spoke next. Emma is back on my schedule, 7 a.m. Tuesday. Nothing has changed from the original plan. Margaret Chen's voice was steel. Miss Morrison, you should know that we're filing a report with our state's healthcare fraud division. Your stepmother will be contacted by investigators. Additionally, we're implementing new verification protocols hospital-wide. What about my father's insurance? Your coverage is protected. Your stepmother has no authority to modify it. However, we recommend documenting everything for potential legal proceedings. The call ended at 9:47 a.m. At 10:15 a.m., my father called. What the hell did you do? He was shouting. Jennifer just got a call from the hospital's legal department. They're accusing her of fraud. She canceled Emma's surgery without authority. Dad, that is fraud. It was a miscommunication. She was trying to help. She chose your cruise over your granddaughter's heart surgery. The deposit was $4,000. I hung up. Tuesday morning, Emma and I arrived at the hospital at 5:30 a.m. She wore her favorite pajamas, carried her stuffed elephant. Dr. Patel met us in pre-op. Ready, Emma? Emma nodded. Brave. The surgery took 4 hours. Perfect repair. No complications. I sat in the waiting room, phone silenced. I had 17 missed calls from my father, 6 texts from Jennifer, ranging from apologetic to threatening. I ignored them all. While Emma was in recovery, my phone buzzed with an email from Margaret Chen, Ethics Committee Chair. Subject: Investigation update. Miss Morrison, our investigation has concluded. The hospital has issued formal findings that your stepmother violated healthcare ethics standards and potentially state fraud statutes. We've shared our findings with state healthcare investigators. Additionally, your stepmother has been flagged in our system and cannot make any calls or requests regarding patients at our facility. We've updated our protocols to prevent similar incidents. Your daughter's care will continue uninterrupted. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any concerns. Margaret Chen, Maryland, MPH. I forwarded the email to my attorney. Emma woke up in recovery at 2:30 p.m., groggy but smiling. Did they fix my heart, Mommy? They fixed it perfectly, baby. My father and Jennifer didn't make their cruise. They spent Monday in meetings with healthcare fraud investigators. The $4,000 deposit, non-refundable, just like Jennifer said. On Wednesday, while Emma recovered at home, I received a certified letter. The state healthcare fraud division was pursuing charges against Jennifer for misrepresenting authority to make medical decisions and insurance fraud. My father left a voicemail. This has gone too far. Drop the charges. I didn't call back. Emma colored pictures on the couch, her small chest marked with bandages and healing incisions. Her heart, repaired. Her future, protected. My phone buzzed. Another email from the hospital. From risk management. Subject: Formal apology and process improvements. They'd changed their entire verification system. Every cancellation for a minor now required documented proof of guardianship. Jennifer's fraud had fixed a dangerous gap in their protocols. I looked at Emma, humming while she colored. Mommy, when can I go back to school? Another week, baby. Let your heart heal. She nodded, satisfied, and returned to her picture. My father sent one final text. Jennifer might face criminal charges. Are you happy now? I typed back. She canceled my daughter's heart surgery for a cruise. What did you think would happen? He didn't respond. The Ethics Committee's investigation report was 47 pages long. I'd requested a copy. It detailed every step of Jennifer's fraud, every protocol the hospital had failed, every consequence that would follow. 9 committee members had reviewed the evidence I'd sent at 3 a.m. 9 medical professionals had agreed what Jennifer did was unconscionable. The recording had been clear. The cruise deposit is non-refundable. A child's cardiac surgery postponed. A grandmother's priorities, documented. Emma's surgery had been successful. The repair would last her lifetime. Jennifer's charges were pending. The investigation was ongoing. And somewhere in the Mediterranean, there was an empty cruise cabin that had cost $4,000, non-refundable.